This is Special Zone. I know you know what is happened when Special Zone comes into your place. This is our home. This is where we welcome different guests, special people who come to visit us and have conversations. You know what? My family, I have a very special guest here today. She's called Jane Nyandele. Some of you might be knowing her. She's a public figure. She does a lot, and she does a lot. She is a Toastmasters. Some of you will be asking, what is Toastmasters? I'm not here to tell you. She will be there to tell you what exactly is Toastmasters. Her journey throughout Toastmasters International, being a leader into clubs, the challenges and the things that she has experienced. She's been employed, she's still employed. She has experienced a lot. I don't want you to hear from me. Welcome to this conversation and make sure that you learn a lot from us. Jane, what a smile. It's an honor to have you in this house today. I like the fact that you are so good to the extent that you make me learn a lot from you. And I've been asking myself, what best can I learn from this lady ever since I met you for the first time? I believe that this moment will come and we'll have this conversation. You know what? I know you have a lot. But let's take you back to your background. Some might be asking, I just said Jane Nyandele. Who exactly is Jane Nyandele?
Thank you so much, Peter. And I'm honored to be a guest, to pay a visit to this platform in this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, who is Jane? Jane Nyandele is a normal girl from Tanzania. She's a Tanzanian lady.
All right.
She's a Tanzanian lady like any other lady that you would find in the streets of Dar. My background, I was born in Mwanza and raised in Dar.
So you're Sukuma? That's a different discussion.
That's a different discussion. But
okay.
I originally I am from Mwanza, but not from the Sukuma tribe, but rather the Kerewe tribe. I come from the islands of Lake Victoria.
You're like an island lady, okay?
I'm an island lady. Both of my parents come from there, so tribe-wise, I am a Kerewe.
Okay.
I was born in Mwanza, but 2 months after I was born, we relocated to Dar, and I have been raised in Dar. I've spent a big part of my life in Dar. I've also had the opportunity to also spend time in a few other countries, but most of my time most of my life I've spent in Dar. Professionally, I am an epidemiologist.
All right. I like the term.
It's just a long term that may be a bit new to most people, but basically, what an epidemiologist does is research in public health.
All right.
So at the moment, I work in the public health space in one of the international organizations that deal with public health issues in Tanzania.
Okay.
And my career background, I did a bachelor's degree in molecular biology. Again, another huge term.
Yeah.
But you can just think of it as it's a background in biology. Okay. And thereafter, I went for a master's degree in epidemiology. And after that, I did work in academia. I have worked as an assistant lecturer at Kairuki.
Right.
But then at some point I figured out that academia may not be the best place for me, so I went back to the drawing board and charted new waters, and in the end I found myself at the organization that I'm working right now, implementing public health programs in Mwanza as well as Geita.
Okay, so again, you have gone back to home, Mwanza and Geita, see same places.
Indeed. And the privilege I have is that when I do work trips, I also have a chance to visit extended family that is still in Mwanza.
So what made you think of becoming an
epidemiologist?
I like the term. What made you start science and probably become that route? Do you have people that you grew seeing them having that career? Are your parents or other people around you have been doing the same? Or is it something that came from within and you said, what, I'm going to take this route?
Where my interest with epidemiology came from is kind of a long story that takes me back to the early years of secondary school.
Okay.
There's a school that I joined. Okay, that's also another story.
All right, you have so many stories. Okay.
Yeah, where I went through so many schools. In primary school, I can safely say that each of the years of primary school I spent at a different school.
Okay.
So it so happens that in one of the schools that I joined in secondary school, they were stressing so much about kids knowing or at least having an idea of who they want to be or which field they want to work on or where they want to go later in life.
All right.
So as I found myself in that environment, I started thinking, okay, so what do I enjoy the most? What subject do I enjoy the most? That was the place for me to start, I think. And I found that biology was the subject that I enjoyed the most and which came naturally to me. Naturally to me. But then, but then when you're a kid and you think of, okay, I'm good at biology, then your mind just goes straight to, okay, I'm good in biology, I enjoy biology, then maybe I want to be a doctor. So the response I had by then, okay, who do you want to be when you grow up?
Those type of questions.
Yes. What career do you want to pursue? I was like, okay, then I want to be a doctor.
Okay.
But then as days went by, I went through school, I got the opportunity to be exposed to alternative careers related to biology, and I was like, okay, I can be a doctor, but there are also other options. I can pursue other options that are biology related, and one of them was molecular biology, microbiology. My brother actually was already working at the university.
Now I get it. Okay.
As a lecturer in that space. He had already started lecturing at University of Dar es Salaam in the molecular biology space. So that's one of the things that he exposed me to. And once I finished my secondary school education, I was like, okay, I want to join my brother. I enjoy biology. I'm good at it. I also have like a role model in that space. Then why not? So I joined University of Dar es Salaam. I enrolled in the Bachelor of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology. I did 3 years there, and they were happy years of my life.
Have you noticed that to me mentioning those terms is kind of difficult because biology and science has never been into me. And now there's brother. I have noted the word brother, so who has actually been there before you.
Yeah.
You look like a last born, right? Am I wrong?
No, I'm not a last born. I'm the fifth born in my family, and I have 2 young brothers. I come from a big family.
Not really. You're just
seven of us.
It's fine. That's a normal African family. So
not really.
Fine. Okay. Being part of that family and being the fifth, have you been enjoying being with the family? What experience, if you tell me, as a child, what did you experience with your family? Was love part of it? Was care? Was thinking of your vision? How was the nature of your family engagement as you were growing?
Oh, my childhood experience was a beautiful one. I was surrounded by love.
I like that word. I like that. Beautiful.
I was a child who was loved, and I knew that I was loved.
What made you know that?
I'm the fifth born. Okay. I'm the fifth born in my family. But then there's a huge gap between our fourth born and I. Like there's a difference of 15 years between us.
Okay.
So so it was they had spent most of their childhood life, like the 4 of them. When I showed up in the family, they were already all grown, and I was like a baby of the family. Yeah. So like everyone was like excited, always cherishing me, and
sure.
It was an amazing experience. And then thereafter, after me, there came my 2 young brothers. So I spent most of my childhood being pampered by my sisters and in my elder brother, as well as my parents, of course. But I remember being loved and being very well taken care of, and receiving a lot of attention from my sisters and my big brother.
Okay, that's impressive. If you got love from them and if you really experience love and care from them, I do believe that you're doing the same to others. Maybe that's why you have this love even to the people around you. That's it really has something to do with your foundation and the way that you're born and raised. Being a scientist, every time I see you, I see art in you. And I have been surprised actually to know this.
Okay.
Despite that I've known you for quite some time and we're doing a lot of stuff. But I did not know that. I did not know the science has actually been the foundation of you. You look like an artist. The way you walk, it's like
Because
you're
of
a
my
model,
dreads.
and really, yeah, from your walking style, your dress code. You look sharp all the time. You look simple, but you really like wearing sneakers, these and all those type of simple. But your dreadlocks as well, and the way you communicate doesn't tell anyone that science is your thing. It's like
Really?
art has actually built you. Is art a pattern is sincere of you? Even though we know that biology and science is there, but do you like art? Art in the sense that writing, singing, probably drawing, art in the sense of, I know different from speech that you're currently doing, art in the sense of doing other things like carvings. And do you have anything different from science and stuff that you feel and do, apart from speaking?
I'm surprised actually by your description. I wouldn't identify myself as being an artist or being good at doing art, but I do enjoy art.
You enjoy.
I
like
do
the word
enjoy art yet
Okay.
in different forms, in form of music, in form of paintings, in form of movies, in form of fashion. Uh, and I've had the opportunity to learn a lot about art, especially painting and music from my young brother.
Okay.
Like my young brother went for architecture. He's very good at what he
Wow,
does.
wow.
And I can say like we're good friends, we're close friends, and he's exposed me to a lot of things from the art side of world, from architecture to painting. He does painting as a hobby. He's also a big fan of different kinds of music. Like he's exposed me to different genres of music. So I can say that I wouldn't identify myself as being good at art, but I do enjoy art in different forms.
And the fact that you enjoy it means there's something within you that maybe you have never discovered it, but if you decide to find it, you will. You might be having that blood of drawing from your brother.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But take time and think. Guys, this is Jane. Now you see, she's telling us about being raised in a space whereby science has been a foundation. But we discover that she has some other things that she can do. She learns from her family as well. Family is a foundation of almost everything that we do. If you have a family that nurtures you and takes care of you and shows love with you, you'll be able to learn and understand from them, and probably being able to identify your skills, identify your potential, discover them, maximize them, and find ways to put them to the world and affect them in the way that the world will like it to be. And this is what Jane is actually telling us. Jane, that's very impressive. And now I can connect to what I have actually been seeing in you. I believe one day you will be doing things in art as well, because that's what you are. And if not, that's what you have been learning from a brother. And apart from art, you like sports?
I wouldn't
You look like
say.
an athletic kind of. You're sharp, slim. You look that kind of.
Do I like sports? I can say I am into a healthy lifestyle.
All right.
So I do workout. I love running. I love jogging. I do that. And at the moment I'm training for a half marathon, which I hope I'll be able to do soon.
Wow.
And apart from that, I love doing activities that contribute into into my fitness and my health, including hiking.
Has it something to do with your family background? Was anyone at home having this healthy lifestyle, or is it something that came to you?
No, I think it's something that just came to me. There are a lot of people who I admire, who I look up to, who are leading a healthy lifestyle. So I've been like, okay, it's something I can also do. Then why not? Yeah.
Let me take you back. Let me take you back to school now. I believe there has been a lot of activities in those days that the schools were giving space for the students to perform. Maybe in their space of discovering their potentials, they give them time to do what they think they can do best. A lot of schools now are doing tours to different places, giving space for students to present any activities that they might be doing, different projects in the discovery of their journey. Have you ever experienced anything? Because I grew in a space where basketball was my life. I played basketball. I have a lot of friends who are doing soccer as well, but I used to watch soccer. But again, I had some other activities, especially artistic type of activities. I used to draw, and then I quit drawing. When I was growing, I used to start to learn how to sing, but later I said it's not me. So I've been doing a lot of activities, and later I fell into writing and probably doing the conversation that I'm currently doing. To you, taking back to that moment, do you have any moment that you can remember that brought something in you, probably a project or something that you were being told to do in school and you did it well, theater or any other performance? Do you have anything that set a ground of you into any field out of science while at a school?
I think my response to that question would diverge a bit from your experience.
That's good.
I've gone to many schools, especially in primary school. I can safely say that for each grade in primary school, I spent it at a different school. So looking back now, I think that experience, though a bit inconvenient to a child by then, shaped me into being adaptable. You know, you're in this school this year, and then next year you find yourself in a new school. You find yourself in a brand new environment with brand new kids that you never met before. Like you're then forced to adapt to the situation and to be part of the environment, part of the class, and to strive into succeeding as a student.
Yeah.
So looking back at my journey in primary school and later in the early years of secondary school, there's no specific activity that I can point towards that, okay, I experienced this, it shaped me this way, but I can, looking back, I see that experience of forcing myself to adapt to new environments and trying to succeed in new environments as something that has shaped me. I think it has contributed in shaping my character, in shaping the way I interact with people. It has also shaped the way that I adapt to new environments and new situations as an adult.
All right. Sorry, I did forget to welcome you.
Oh, thank you.
Also, there's a juice there.
Thank you.
I know there's an apple mango, and every time I look, I see an apple in you.
No, I'm all mangoes.
So you can take mango now.
Thank you.
Yeah, just take a sip as we continue.
Thank you.
My interest has actually fallen into the world moving to different schools, and that's where my question comes. It seems that you had parents who were traveling a lot, maybe. That is one. If not, you might have parents who wanted you to experience a various environment so that you can be able to, be flexible enough to know the different cultures and environment. As I still ask about the background, what were actually the parents doing? If something that you're comfortable releasing, what exactly were parents doing? They were workers, they are shifting from one place to another. Were they doing business so that you can be able to move from one place to another? What exactly were the parents doing? And if you mind, if you have a story, you can tell us a bit how they get connected, if you want us to know.
Thank you, Peter, for the question. My mom was a primary school teacher. She worked for different primary schools for 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, until when she retired 12 years ago.
All right. Yeah, that's
Yes. And my dad had been working in organizations that are into community development.
Okay.
His passion up to this day in his mid-70s is contributing to the development of people in the community. So he had been working in such organizations. He did work in several of those organizations in Tanzania and later outside Tanzania. So yes, his career journey did contribute in our relocation, but also another reason that I had moved from multiple schools in the early years of my education is because they wanted better things for me. They wanted a better education for me. So I would go to this school and then they find, okay, there's this and this challenge. Maybe we can move her to a different school. So I'll move to another different school. And then they would find out, oh, there's a school that is actually better, which is like nearby the place that we live. Why not move her there? So those two things contributed into making my early years of my early journey of my education a bit unique.
Yeah. Now I can learn. Merging the two parts from mother and father, in one way or another, has shaped you to be what you are today. You are a product of those two entries because you're doing a lot of engagements now in public, and you're doing a lot of talks, you're doing speeches, you are doing some sort of trainings, I believe, in your workspaces. That has something to do with what mom implanted in you. And there is also, that's my thinking. And there is also the part of father, whereby being raised in a space whereby a father was working with community, with all those community development, all that stuff, I believe has something to do with what you're currently doing probably, because you are dealing with community as well. I know, that we are the products of the environment that you have been born and raised. And our behavior has something to do with our backgrounds. And what you are today has something to do with what you have been born and raised.
Indeed.
Any other family member who have that type of, you have talked to my brother who is a lecturer. Is he still a lecturer?
He is.
Is anyone else doing lecturing, or do other siblings doing different things? If you can be able to share the experience there.
Okay, thank you for the question. My elder sister, firstborn, she also took that academia route, that academia career space. He is a teacher. Our secondborn is a business lady.
Right.
the only business person in our family.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
She went into business. Then our thirdborn is my big brother, who is still lecturing at University of Dar es Salaam, and our fourthborn is in the health sector. He's yeah he does work as a nurse in the health sector. And then I'm the fifthborn. Our sixthborn is an architect. He graduated from Early University as an architect. And the sixth one is still in school. He chose to go into the IT route. Yeah, so it's quite a blend of interests and career paths in my family.
So with you had enough room now to learn from different people within your family, from different siblings, and see how better you can blend yourself from all those different aspects. In one way or another, most parents give a room for children rather to share what they have. For example, in my experience, we are different, we have different paths, but the parents give us a room to find out who we are and being able to go through the road that you want, despite the fact that they have been guiding us through the way. They gave us a room to read books. I like reading books because that has been my family foundation. You just read book, and whatever you can learn out of the book and become a product of those books. That was my family. To you, what really made you guys to have those different paths? Was it something to do with one thing that the parent did for you, or was it something that the parent said, you know what, you can do anything you want as long as you want you to be happy? What was the parents' philosophy as you are growing old?
Oh, the philosophy of my parents was, first of all, they did stress to us that education is important. Education is one of the things that they valued the most, and I don't think there would be a moment where they would tolerate one or two of us coming up and saying, I don't want to go to school, I want to do ABC. No, like you had to go to school. Like, school education was something that was important. But then, okay, after you go to school, then you can pursue whatever path that you want to pursue. For example, my younger brother, like his story is unique. Ever since he was 2 or 3 years old, he did show that he was interested in architecture.
Right.
Whenever he had a pen and a piece of paper, like he
drawing.
would be drawing houses. Like he would be drawing buildings. He would try to make house models out of paper. Like ever since he was 3. So they were like, okay, maybe there is an architect within him, or like an artist or whatever. But for a person like me, looking back at my childhood, I didn't have, I wasn't expressing that there's something specific that I have
bring
that
to the world.
yeah. I was just, okay, I was a smart kid. I would go to school, and yeah, they would just support me throughout my career journey, and thereafter they trusted that whatever was in me would unfold as I grow older.
I like the word smart kid. Number one could have been in you always. I believe that.
Not
maybe 1 to 3.
Maybe not necessarily number one, but
Failure
looking back, I was that kid who was like, okay, there is school, I have to go to school, I have to do well in school, I need to put in the effort. Right. So looking back, that was me.
Fine. Family. This is from Jane. Do you learn from her experience? Do you learn from the background that she has? Parents have a room to decide the future space, the opportunity of their children. Parents lay a foundation of personality and behavior. Whatever your parent is doing or whatever you are doing to your children has an impact in one way or another. The impact, the beauty that we see in her today has something to do with the foundation that the parent made for her. They clearly created a path for her to identify her skills, to know herself, to discover different ways that she can go and ensure not only her, but all the children at home. This is exactly what parents are supposed to be doing. And I believe you are doing better than what you think Jane and the family might have been doing. But I believe also you can be able to learn from from her journey, from the parent experience, from her experience as well. And this is why we're here. We do a conversation and we learn from this very special people like Jane. Jane, you're so special. Being here today, it's an honor, as I started by saying, because I know you are special. You're special in a way that you have a productive background that has shaped you into what you are today. You have a heart, you're human. The first time I interacted with you, I saw something greater in you. I saw that, and I couldn't resist myself to find a way to be close to you. Actually, I was the one who pushed to be close to you, in case you did it. Welcoming me to the world of Toastmasters was something to do with what I saw in me, but what I also believe in what you can be able to achieve. I got you now into that space, but I don't want to go into that now. But I believe by the time you finished everything and now getting into the world of Toastmasters, maybe something good might have happened along the way. Maybe you experienced things that wanted you to tell the world through the world of Toastmasters. Maybe you wanted to build an empire that you really wanted people to learn from you. Before going there, just to wind up with the first part of the conversation, you always have a clear picture of where you're going. I don't know when it started. You are here today. But what made you get what you are today? Did you have plan or goals that were set strategically as you were growing in probably primary, secondary to high school? Did you have specific goals that you were set and the clear vision of where you are actually going? Because I want to connect it with what you are today. Or did it happen without knowing that it was happening?
Thank you for the question, Peter. Looking back at in my childhood years, I think as a child, your goals are crystal clear. Like you go to school, you have to do well in school, you have to graduate from one class to another. So the goals are clear. Like what is expected of you is already laid out for you, at least for some time until when you graduate. So that has been the compass of my life in my early years, up to when I graduated my first degree.
Okay.
Now, once you graduate and you go into the world, then you have to be the one setting goals for yourself.
All right. No one is there to tell you.
No one is there to tell you, like, you have to do this, next semester you have to do this, and then you have to pass with an expectation of these grades and then go to the next grade. Like, it's you and the world now. Like, you have to be the one, you have to know now, you have to now create a clear picture of where it is that you're heading. And one of the most fortunate things that have happened in my life, once I graduated, right after I graduated from University of Dar es Salaam, I came across a book club.
A book club, right?
A book club, yes, by a guy named Gonzaga. So I joined that book club, and Gonza opened me to the world of self-help genre books.
All right.
Ever since that point, I hadn't come across those kinds of books. So his book club opened that world, and I was mesmerized. I got access to those books. I would read them. I would read the Jim Rohn kind of books, like Goal Setting and Eat That Frog. And so like the first 2 years after I graduated, I had immersed myself in those kinds of books, and they really helped in shaping my thinking, that whatever that is going to happen in the future is really entirely upon myself. It depends entirely on the way that I think, on the way that I see the truth. It really started from after I was exposed to really started from after I was exposed to
the most influential siblings to your life today. If I allow you to give only one name among the rest, who would that be and why? Do you think that has actually been most influential to you?
I wouldn't point on one name, but I would point on the 4 of my elder siblings.
All right,
they have been the most, I can say they've been the most influential people in my life. And even looking at the present moment, if you ask me who is your best friend, I would, my finger would point to them.
All right.
Why have they been, why am I saying that they've been the most influential people in my life? In their own, came into the world while they were already like a bit older. They were already finding their own holding, like the decisions that they're making, the choices that they're making, the consequences, how things are turning up for them. So I can say that they've been the people who have actually played a big part in shaping who I am today. Yeah. So I wouldn't point on one name, but I would point on the 4.
That question was very tricky.
It was.
It was very tricky because if you paint one, then the rest will say, "Okay, Jane, that's
what about me?"
What about me? And that's quite important because they had different behaviors, they have different personalities, they have different ways. So in one way or another, they contributed much to what you have done.